I would like to remind everyone to make sure that our cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position, and also please be advised, our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T U-verse, the City of Gadsden YouTube channel, and WMGJ Radio. The meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Alva Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Yahtzee Meadows to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would y'all please bow your heads, please? Lord God, thank you for just letting us be here today, Lord. Thank you for just letting us make it here safely and soundly, Lord. Just let all the council members just be able to have the peace and sound mind to make these decisions, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. And let us just make it back and forth to the meal safely and soundly, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and council meeting held on April the 23rd.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of April 19th through the 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamation. Written on my office wall in my office, it says, every child is a genius. Once you identify the talent of children and put them in the environment that talent, the sky is the limit. This is a book that I always think is very great to read, especially to the young people when they're beginning a new chapter in their lives. And all of you already know it, and no, I won't read the whole book, but it says, congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, and you're off in a way, and you brains in your head, and you have feet in your shoes, and you steer yourself any direction you choose. And you're on your way, and you know what you know. And you are the guys who will decide where to go. At this particular time, we are honored from the city of Gadsden to do a proclamation for our merit scholars from the Gadsden City High School. And we also have another person that we would like to recognize. But at this time, I would like for Mustafa Ever, Joshua Kelly, Annie Roberts, and Linton Roberts to come forward, please. Stay right there. So you can be on the TV and everybody can see you. Whereas the National Merit Scholarship Program is an academic competition for recognition and scholarships that began in 1955. High school students enter the National Merit Program by taking the preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarships qualifying test, which serves as an initiative screening of approximately 1.6 million entrants each year, as well as meeting published programs, entry, and participation requirements. And whereas approximately 16,000 semifinalists were selected across the nation, representing less than 1% of all U.S. high school seniors with the highest PSAT score in each state. And whereas semifinalists in the 2019 National Merit Scholarship Program includes 4 seniors from Gadsden City High School: Mustafa Ever, Joshua Kelly, Annie Roberts, and Linton Roberts. And whereas all 4 students were honored in an event at the school where faculty members individually praised each of them for their extraordinary achievements. They were commended for their hard work in academics, as well as their excellence as leaders and positive role models to their fellow students. And whereas Mustafa, Joshua, Annie, and Linton advanced to become finalists in the 2019 Merit Scholarship Program, which requires providing information about their academic records, participation in school and community activities, leadership abilities, employment, and honors and awards received. They also completed an essay and confirmed their earlier score by the SAT. And now, therefore, the mayor and city of Gadsden, Alabama, hereby joins in recognizing Mustafa, Joshua, Annie, and Linton for their many accomplishments and their dedication, and expressing appreciation to those who have supported them in their endeavors by proclaiming April the 30th, 2019 as a day of celebration in their honor. We wish them the very best as they pursue their scholarship education and express our hope for success in their future endeavors. Approved this day, April the 30th, 2019. And we And we also have certificates, but I also would like for, is Annie Dickerson Leak here? Would you come up, please? Annie is a Gadsden resident, but she goes to Westbrook. And one of her achievements, she has been selected as a 2019 National Merit Scholarship Program finalist, and we want to commend her for a perfect score of 36 on the ACT. Wow. So we like to.
Madam President, I just want to say congratulations to all these individuals, and I want to applaud the diversity of this group of young adults as well. That's great to see, and especially the Roberts boy for the adversity he had to overcome throughout his life.
I hope that this will be something that the City Council, this is the first time that we've done a proclamation, and since this is my first time being council president, so I'll take that little saying, it's a new sheriff in town, so we did something different. And this will be something that the school can have, but I hope that from now on, the City Council will recognize our merit scholars and let them know that we appreciate what they're doing in our city, in our school system, and that they will continuously to work hard. We all know that they're going to different schools. We know where one is going in particular. His dad told us. But we know that you all will do well everywhere you go. Thank you.
The mayor had an appointment that he had to attend to, so I get the privilege and honor to recognize the city clerk's office today. I don't believe they know this is coming. And so if you would, Miss Iva Nelson, city clerk, you can come stand right here by me. From the city of Gadsden, Alabama. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, and whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, Sherman Guyton, as mayor of the city of Gadsden, does recognize the week of May 5th through 11th, 2019, as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Iva Nelson, and her staff, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. And Iva, today we have this plaque as well as this plaque. So this is the 50th anniversary of municipal clerks, not Iva Nelson's 50th anniversary. It does say 1969 to 2019, but that's the profession. So we congratulate 35 years of service for Ms. Iva Nelson. So let's give her a hand.
That is such a beautiful plaque. I'm really surprised by all of this, and I'm very humbled, and I'm very honored to have been able to serve as city clerk for the time that I have. And I'm very grateful to the clerk that came before me. Martha Elrod was my mentor. I think from the day I came to work, she started grooming me to be the next clerk. And I've been very blessed to have been appointed by the council to serve. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And I wouldn't be anything without my staff members. I really appreciate all of them. I give kudos to everyone. This has been an especially tough year for the clerk's office. We've had a lot to do within the past 12 months. They've stepped up to the plate and they've kept the ship afloat. And so we hope to continue and get caught up on our backlog and move forward. And we really all love working with our elected officials and enjoy what we do. It's very obvious that everyone enjoys being here and they're willing to do the work, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you for this great honor.
Thank you.
Ms. Iva, we had a hard time going around you trying to get all that done. Remember me handing an envelope yesterday, and I said, Jennifer didn't know what it was about, but we were just trying to make sure that we surprise you. But thank you for all that you've done for us. As we go back to our agenda, unfinished business, we have a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property at 1535 Litchfield in District 1, and this resolution has been tabled for 30 days. No action will be necessary regarding 1136 Litchfield Avenue in District 1. The next item is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 217 Morning View Drive in District 2. This is William Bell Kirkland and or her heirs if deceased being the last known owners. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone here to speak in favor?
Madam President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. We filed this case in July of 2018. That was the second owner that we were dealing with at the time. There are no permits and there are no improvements to this property. We're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance. Thank you.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to abate.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our final public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 1107 Hurst Street in District 3. This is FNA NP LLC and possible rights of redemption to the estate of Henrietta Mall, being the last known owners. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone here to speak in favor?
Madam President, we filed this case in April of 2018. There have been no improvements. There are no permits to improve, and we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance. Thank you.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business?
Yes, Madam President, I have one from Parks and Rec Department. It's a resolution authorizing an agreement with L&L Marine for the L&L Marine Couples Tournament to be held at the Dove Parker Boat Launch on June the 1st, 2019. I ask for unanimous consent to hear today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move for adoption, please.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there another item of new business?
Yes, Madam President. I'd like to ask for immediate consideration of a resolution authorizing the final change order to reconcile additions and deletions due to changes initiated through construction of the 2017 City of Gadsden Street resurfacing project with J&D Enterprises. This will be a change order for the final balance of the project.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there another item?
Yes, Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent, please. It's requested by the Engineering Department. It's a resolution accepting utility easement from B&L Holdings LLC to coordinate the utility installations for the riverfront development.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Department reports, committees, boards. We have Ms. Kay Moore, downtown.
I'm bringing help with me. Thank you, Madam President, Council. This is going to be, the next 2 weekends in Gadsden, overall, is going to be a lot of things to do. So if you ever hear people say, there's nothing to do in Gadsden, and I hope you young people never say this, the next 2 weekends is just absolutely packed, jam full. I actually brought Ray up here to help me today because he's got part of this deal going on too. So I hope you young people listen to this. You know, of course, this Friday is First Friday. And we've got a great crowd of people that are going to be here to sing. We've got entertainers. It's a free event. You can come, stroll the streets, shop, eat, and just enjoy being with friends downtown. We're going to close Broad Street about 4 o'clock. And then the event is actually from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. So that's going to kick off this weekend for First Friday. Then on Saturday, May the 4th be with you. It's we're having this is an inaugural party downtown, I guess. We're going to kick it off at Back 40, and I like it when people call with an idea and they actually follow through and plan this idea for you. Kate Fickle called me immediately after the St. Patrick's Day pub crawl and said, I think we should do one of these on May the 4th. Just happens to be on Saturday this year. So she helped put that together, and so it's going to be this coming Saturday, May the 4th, from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. One of the great things with this is you might win some prizes if you're on social media and you make your picture and hashtag SW, stands for Star Wars, SW Pub Crawl. We're gonna be searching all of our social media posts and see who does that. We're going to give away some prizes from downtown Gadsden from that. Now, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and throw art on the rocks out here too, y'all. It's not me, but it's in my backyard. So May the 4th and 5th is going to be art on the rocks. This is coming back after probably 20 plus years of not being here. I'm really excited about that. Anytime artwork is involved, if you've ever been in my office, my walls are covered with local art. So that's what we enjoyed on that too. So that's also going to be this weekend. So there's 3 things going on this weekend, just this weekend. Now next weekend, here we go. Here comes Ray's part now. Then I'm going to step back in again. Ray called me and said, hey, I got this idea. So Ray, it's your turn.
I'm not the best public speaker, so I had her warm up everybody for me. So I had this idea for a music festival. All around the United States, they do the same thing where they have local businesses support bands, and just one day where you can hang out downtown and visit all these places to hear local music and people from all over the state. So there's 8 businesses involved. It's the Gadsden Museum of Art, Cultural Arts Center, Back 40, Blackstone, Taiwan On, the Coffee Bar, and I'm missing a few. Harp and Clover, the Moxie. It starts at 3 o'clock and lasts until 11, but the entertainment district shuts down at 10. So you'll be able to open carry in the streets following the rules of the entertainment district and just go around and support local businesses. It'll be $25 to get you into every single venue. And then every individual, if you just want to see one band at one location, they may have their own cost attributed. Like Blackstone charges a cover, so they'll be $5. I think that's it. Also, you guys that shook your head and said that there's nothing to do free in Gadsden, where the city sponsors a free art museum. We have contemporary shows, traditional shows. We're open 6 days a week, and First Friday we're going to have some pretty amazing stuff. So be sure to check it out.
Thank you, Ray. He did come up with that idea, and he's done all the legwork and everything. So that is May the 10th, next Friday, May the 10th. Now, I want to pretend like I'm Brian Harbison for just a minute here. I want to pass this poster around because this is a good poster, though, Brian. This is the 3rd annual Downtown Music Festival.
Oh, yeah.
It is Saturday, May the 11th. We have got an amazing musician, Landau Eugene Murphy, Jr. He was the winner of America's Got Talent in 2011. If you like Frank Sinatra, which I know that he's older for y'all, but some kids like older music now, he sounds exactly like Frank Sinatra. This is another free concert. It's going to be at the venue. We've had it outside for the last couple of years. We're going to move it inside this year to the venue. He is also bringing special guest Vaughn Lewis, who has been in a movie called The Green Book. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard it's fabulous. We've got the Jess Goggins Band, we've got Albert Simpson Trio, and Soul Survivor. Now, that's all going to start Saturday, May the 11th at 5:30 at the venue. It's free. I don't know how much I can stress that it's free. If y'all don't come out and enjoy the great things that we've got in this city that are free, I don't know what else that we can do. I don't know what else we can offer. But I do hope that y'all will check some of this out. We are proud of all your young people, and we want y'all to enjoy our city, our downtown, and we're grateful for y'all being here today. So, any questions for me before I go sit down? Because I know I took my 5 minutes, but I was taking 5 minutes for this week and 5 minutes for next week.
I've got a question, Kay.
Yes, sir, Mr. Back.
When do you sleep?
You know what? It's always fun. You know, when you enjoy what you do, you don't need to sleep.
Well,
That's
you do
right.
a great job.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank y'all for your support.
Well, I got this poster because I do hope that everybody would go see this. I saw him when he first came on American Idol. In fact, one of the guys told him to take the chewing gum out of his mouth. And when he opened his mouth and he began to sing, he did sound like Frank Sinatra. But I told Cindy Isabel, gotta meet him, gotta take a picture with him, and they're gonna make sure that it happens. But I'm saying he is good. You gotta go see him.
He is fantastic.
Yes, he
so,
is.
yeah. If you have any questions or anything, everyone know what's going on downtown, downtowngadsden.com. Very easy website. We're all over social media as well. So, thank y'all very much.
Council members, I have a request from, this is Nikki Tinker, and I asked for, she would like to have an announcement concerning a marked court. So I'm asking for unanimous consent if you give her permission to speak.
So moved.
Yes, second.
Those
Clerk,
in
will you
favor?
take the vote?
Those in favor to allow the speaker, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have unanimous consent.
Okay. Ms. Tinker is one of our municipal judges, and so she has an announcement to make.
Thank you, Madam Councilwoman and Council. Ms. Kay Moore, you could bring back up, I could bring back up as well. So I brought Superintendent of Education here we've got something planned tomorrow, and we want to invite each of you all to come. There's a very important trial taking place tomorrow at 9 a.m. at Gadsden City Auditorium, Gadsden City High School Auditorium. There's a shoplifting case that's taking place, and Litchfield Middle School's 7th grade district attorney's office will be prosecuting the case. The law firm of the 7th grade of Emma Sansom, LLC, have been chosen to represent the defendant and will be serving in that stead. And the citizens of the 7th grade of the city of Gadsden, Middle, Alabama, will be serving as the jurors. And they will also serve as bailiffs and court reporters, court administrators, and a real showdown is going to go down tomorrow. They have had to pick out their own exhibits. They've been given a list of witnesses, but they could only pick 3. They're going to do direct examination as well as cross-examination of witnesses tomorrow. So I think that the principals and the teachers are probably more excited than the kids. So we just want you to know what's going on at Gadsden City Schools, what we're trying to do, and how we're trying to motivate kids. We don't want the judicial system to just be something that they're intimidated by or afraid of. We want them to know that that is another branch of government that is there for them, and I'm just hoping I might get 1 or 2 lawyers out the deal. But that's where we are. Did you want to say something?
Just quickly. Thank you so much. And this is certainly Mrs. Tinker's brainchild. And one of the things that we talked about in this new administration in Gadsden City Schools is to be innovative. First of all, congratulations to the students here who are involved in government today. But as she said, we don't want children to be intimidated by the legal system. So as early as we can teach them about the legal system, the better chance we have that they'll understand the legal process. And so we're very proud of our principals who selected the students who participate in this endeavor. Super proud of Ms. Tinker Tinker for her role. And this all started with her as a guest speaker at one of our schools, and the students participating in an activity that she created for them at that opportunity. So we're proud of it. We hope that you will come out and support it, and hopefully this will be something that we'll do on an annual basis. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have remarks from our council. Let me see which way I want to go. Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll just touch on a couple of things very quickly. In particular, the bill that was advertised allowing for some limited home rule. Again, I think a lot was said last week. We are definitely in support of the collaboration of mayors that came in support against this legislation, and we again want to highlight a couple of things that we feel very strongly were missing prior to these bills being advertised. It's important that we note that the discussion really should occur before the advertisement. Can't emphasize that enough. And again, we stand in unity with the other county municipalities who stepped up and spoke out against these two pieces of legislation. So can't say that enough, and want to reemphasize that. We've said a lot about that over the last couple of weeks, so we're not going to belabor the point. But again, it's important to note for people to read and understand what's happening with those two pieces of advertised legislation. And again, we would like the opportunity to engage in some civil discourse about the particulars before it's advertised. A couple of quick items. Again, congratulations to Iva and just you being recognized. We can't do enough of that. I mean, she means so much to this council, so much to this city. So it's always great when we take the opportunity to recognize her, and she's right. When we talk about discussion before advertisement, her life was made a little bit more complicated over the past year or so because legislation was presented without discussion. And we didn't have an opportunity to chime in. First we heard of it was when it was being advertised. So again, yet another opportunity there for us to consider that. But without belaboring the point, Alva, we love you and we appreciate everything you do for us. We definitely appreciate it. And the last thing, these students who have joined us today for Youth in Government, Ms. Hardwick, thank you again for a great job. Great job. Let's give her a big round of applause while we're at it. So she is a constant, and we get a wonderfully intelligent, bright group of students every year. But she's that staple. She works really hard to make sure that they understand city government. We had some very good discussion upstairs about, city government and, what young people understand. And I can tell you that, even they agree with us that we have an opportunity to grow tomorrow's leaders and the next batch of community leaders. And so just know, Mrs. Hardwick, that you've got our support. We all will be developing some programs in the near future, so stay tuned, that will serve to create an inroad for young people to support, but continue to be supportive of youth government, continue to be active in your communities through service. That doesn't always mean antagonism or radicalism. It means understanding and being effective. And so I want young people to understand that you don't have to be, now sometimes you have to antagonize to get people's attention, but by and large, people tend to respect you more when you know what you're talking about. And so if you don't take anything away from what I'm saying today, please understand that And I think Councilman Wilson made a very, very good point earlier today, is that you all have an opportunity. Many of you will go off to study. Many of you will go off for opportunities that will take you away from here. But seize the opportunity to come back and reinvest and reach back and grab a young person and pull them forward in your community. So again, thank you guys for being here, and we look forward to seeing you perform this afternoon. All right, that's it.
Councilman Worthy.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, to Ms. Nelson, congratulations again. Been doing this a long time. If it wasn't for you, I don't know what we would do, what I would do, because I call you all the time. I know you probably get tired of me calling sometimes, but that's just part of it. And so congratulations to our merit scholars, and thanks to our president for giving them that resolution, that because that's good. And I tell young people, it's more academic scholarships out there than it is athletic scholarships. And that's coming from a person that I had two sons to go to Gadsden City and had scholarships, football scholarships. One went to Ole Miss to play football, and one went to Alabama State to play football. But the decisions you all make today will determine how you live tomorrow. You know, and people see, a lot of young people see people with nice cars and nice houses and stuff, but they didn't get that overnight. It takes time and determination. And for the merit scholars, they didn't get there overnight. They had parents that push them and motivate them, and some could be self-starters. But education, you know, we can't blame it all on the school system. I think education starts at home. So our parents, you know, you have to get involved with our kids, with your kids, and it takes a whole community to raise these young people. Because, as I told some of you all upstairs, you know, a lot of the older leaders, they're passing on. And we need you young people to fill the void. Get involved in some of the civic organizations. You know, SCLC, NAACP, the Voters League, either Republican Party or Democratic Party, whatever your affiliation, get involved in them, because we need you all. You all are our future. So, and I want to make one announcement before I stop talking. This is about the community job fair that will be held on Thursday, on May the 2nd, from 8 to 12 over at the venue. I understand they have over 70 employers that's going to be there. So if some of you high school students, y'all looking for a job, go over between 8 and 12. Bring your resume. If you don't have one, you can go by the Career Center and they'll help you prepare one before Thursday. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Back.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo with Councilman Williams about the bills that are being advertised. You know, Etowah County is the smallest landmass county in the state. Out of 67 counties, we're the smallest county. We have 11 municipalities. We're all kind of in this together, so we need to work together. We need to communicate. We need to be open with one another, and we need to work together to make our cities and our county the best that it can be. Also want to echo congratulations to Iva and your staff and for the service. Y'all, I want to tell you, I've been doing this almost 6 months. City government doesn't work well without Iva and her staff. They are the glue that holds everything together, and we're very grateful for how you approach your job with professionalism and you care, and we just really appreciate that. To the youth and government students, we talked upstairs a little bit about Robert's Rules of Order. You just saw Robert's Rules of Order in action today. This is one of the things that separates America from other countries, is the democracy and the order with which we conduct our business. And that's one of our strengths is Robert's Rules of Order. So I urge each one of you to learn Robert's Rules of Order. It is a great tool to have as you go through life. When you find yourself on boards or find yourself in government, you have to know what to do. So I encourage you to just make that kind of a part of your study. Also want to leave you with this quote. When I graduated college a long time ago, one of my fraternity brothers gave this to me, and it sits on a frame in my study at my house. And It's a familiar quote for some of us, but for some of you, maybe you haven't heard it. But it's a quote from Teddy Roosevelt, and it's kind of a outside of Bible verses that I have that are my life verses. This is kind of a life verse. It says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." That's a Teddy Roosevelt quote. You can Google that and read it and read it and read it and read it. Basically, it's saying don't be on the sidelines, be in the game, and if you are on the sidelines, don't talk about the people that are in the game. And to echo Councilman Worthy, we need you in the game. Every one of you young people have a bright future. There is no ceiling. You can do and be what you want to be, and I encourage you to do that. Be in the game. Pick a game that you want to be in, and then be that person and give of yourself for that cause. So thank y'all for coming here today, and best of luck to every one of you young folks that are here. Thank you.
Councilman Wilson.
Again, congratulations to the Merit Scholars, and to the point for you young folks, I can't tell you how much I respect the individuals that are finalists for the National Merit Scholarship. I was not a student who performed my best in high school. I'll leave it at that. But I always admired those kids, even though you may not necessarily have realized that even at a young age, I admired those kids for their hard work. And I went on to graduate college from Auburn, and I'm reminded of the Auburn Creed. Even for those of you in the room who aren't necessarily Auburn fans, you can learn a lot from this. And one of the lines is, "I believe this is a practical world, and I can count on only what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work." And I think that's something that every single one of you young individuals has to understand, and I think everybody in life. I think the game of life is really just about how long it takes you to realize that there aren't any shortcuts. The sooner you get to work, the sooner you're going to be out there in front of everybody leading the pack. And it's just a matter of time of how far down the road are you going to kick a can before you realize you got to pick up and work hard to get what you want in life. So this is an opportunity for all of you. And again, I just can't help but recognize the diversity of this group of young kids. If we have a city that looks like this 50 years from now, we'll be doing just fine. I promise you that. It's so impressive to see how many different people have engaged in this youth and government process. So please continue to engage, continue to find ways to be involved in your community. And to those individuals who, jokingly, when we say that about nothing to do in Gadsden, my question to you, my quote is not necessarily as prestigious as Teddy Roosevelt, but this is a line from a Lenny Kravitz song. What good's a cynic with no better plan? What are you going to do to make Gadsden good? What are you going to do to make Gadsden great? If you don't think there's anything to do in this town, what are your ideas on how to make it better? What are your ideas on something to do to give younger adults like you guys something to do? I challenge every one of you guys. As an entrepreneur, you all have it in you. You all have a great idea in you. Grab one of those ideas and go and meet with an individual from the Chamber of Commerce or somebody here in the business development offices here and figure out a way to get that project off the ground. It's more attainable than you'll ever know, and you'll never know unless you lose that fear of failure and move forward. So kudos for being here, and I'm excited to spend the afternoon with you guys. Y'all get to hear me wax poetic from a microphone again over at the venue, so I'll save that. Also, to Miss Iva, I will say, and you young people can all relate, They tell you when you grow up as an adult, you're not going to have a mother sitting around to wash your clothes and cook you food and tell you when to wake up and go to school. And that's true for the most part, but I can tell you Miss Iva is the closest thing to my professional mother. She tells me when to show up and reminds me if I have a meeting that came up or got changed. To have her around and supporting everybody up here is worth more than I can say from this microphone. So thank you, Iva, for all you do. The last thing I want to speak to is, as chairman of the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee for the city, we have worked diligently over the last week and a half in discussions with Senator Jones and the other members of our delegation concerning this legislation that was introduced. And again, our position has been from day one, and I want to commend the mayor and the office of the mayor and his leadership on this issue. Our issue has been that these bills were never discussed with us. Not only with us, they weren't discussed with other municipalities within Etowah County. They weren't discussed with the constituents and the people of Etowah County. And to be honest with you, there are some concerns from my understanding, even within the county commission, the organization that would directly benefit from some of this legislation. So I just want to commend our mayor for stepping up and taking a leadership role in this conversation. And I want to make it clear that the city of Gadsden has said in no uncertain terms that we will utilize every single asset at our disposal in the political process to make sure that this legislation does not progress and that we don't have legislation passing through this community without an open dialogue about it beforehand. So thank you for everybody on the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee and the mayor's office and the surrounding mayors and the members of the county commission who have spoke out with concerns about this legislation. I'm very hopeful that this legislation will be pulled in the coming days and that we can go back to the drawing board and talk about an effective piece of legislation that will benefit everybody in the county and takes in everyone's perspective into consideration. So thank you, Madam President.
Councilman Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I see Justin back there. I have a son. I bet he was surprised to know he had a brother up here. I was shocked. I do congratulate the clerk's office. They do a lot for us, and without them, we would be nowhere. They get us where we need to go, tell us what we need to do, have all our paperwork ready, keep us out of trouble when we travel. They make sure we eat and everything else, and I do appreciate them and all y'all do. I do appreciate the Mayor's Association for showing up the other day, talking about the bills, all the mayors there. These guys up here, they're a lot nicer than I am. I'm just going to say my opinion and how it is. The bill that was advertised wasn't worth the paper it was written on. That was my philosophy about that. Is Miss Lee Roberts here? Could you stand, please, Miss Roberts? Lee Roberts. I just want to congratulate you for taking care of Lee up here, our attorney, and your son. It's always been said that after a good man and a good son, there's always a lady behind it, and I appreciate you being behind them. And I do want to congratulate all the other winners, Merit Scholar winners here today. And I appreciate the way y'all have acted today and how y'all have come and everything y'all have done for us today. I want to brag a little bit on the building department. Last week, I had an opportunity to meet with Mr. Brian Greer. We had a situation in District 6. He came out there and talked to the gentleman that was concerned about the situation. Brian Greer did an excellent job explaining to the man what he needed to do. He was courteous. He was kind. I couldn't ask for any more better person than Brian Greer. What he told the gentleman, he seen the gentleman was trying on his property. He gave him some more time. And Brian Harbison, if you will, I appreciate you telling Mr. Greer we appreciate him, everything he does for the city and the way he acts and, the manner he presented himself for the city there. That's all I have.
Councilman Reed.
I tell you what, before it started, if you didn't notice, the president of council kind of got a little bit tickled at me. But if you see, all these guys have something really, really important to say. But when it gets down to me, they don't leave anything to say. So basically, I'm back to, I had two things this week. I went to the production, Kent, over at the Ritz Theater. more talent in this place than I've ever seen in my life. Looking for a city, unbelievable. Our Eric Phillips, sergeant on police force, sang, Kent sang. It was absolutely beautiful. But you can't get over the amount of talent. That was number one. Number two, I feel so much better about the future of this city because all we see is, man, everything's wrong. There's trash here and there's everything here and things are wrong. And I look at y'all and it kind of brings me back, we're going to be okay. And I'll end it with, this week, Public Works picked up 103 tons of trash in my district. Thank you. That it?
Didn't I tell you all this morning? What did I tell you all this morning?
You
That
beat me
men
last.
talk more than women. Didn't I tell you all that this morning? Well, I was not. Where's my young man? I was not being fake. I was being for real.
Absolutely.
The announcement that I have is that due to the Alabama League of Municipalities Conference, the City Council will not meet next week. This is May 7th. The regular scheduled meeting for the work session and council meeting will resume on Tuesday, May the 14th. The other thing I would like to say, the Gadsden Times did a beautiful article on a student, went through Gadsden City Schools. She was at Donahue. One of my students, her name is Kiara Kinney, and she will be graduating from the University of Alabama with a 4-point average in nursing. She has a child. She's been on a mission trip. She has worked. And so my thing is, and it says a family effort, but you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. But I just want to say, very proud of Kiara Kinney for the accomplishment that she's done. And the Gadsden Times did a beautiful article on her and the things that she has accomplished.
Council, Madam President Toles is exactly right. We probably do talk a lot, but my wife doesn't let me talk at home. So this is my only chance that I get to get out that I can actually speak. But I would be remiss if I was going down a list, y'all, and I just overlooked it. The Merit Scholar winners, thank y'all very much for your hard work and all your families. A lot of you are in my district. I've known most of you since you were born and very proud of you. I know you're going to do great things, and just thank you so much for what you mean to the city of Gadsden. We're behind you and we're proud of you. And Michael Rogers also sang in the production that
That's right.
we had this week, along with his wife Haley. So they were a family effort in that. And it was a great show. We sold out all 5 performances.
Ms. Roberts, I know you were afraid when you were asked to stand up. I was scared too because I didn't know what Councilman Cannon was going to say.
Yeah.